Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Yes, let's do that. It is Coffee Ann time here on ON, AM, and FM at 8 in the morning on this Monday morning. It is October 17th. In the year 2022. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us. Romeo Berthum is with us. Good morning to you, Romeo.
Good morning, Joe.
And Dave is brewing the coffee. Here he comes around the corner.
It doesn't take much with that nice little Keurig thing.
No, it wouldn't be Coffee Ann without coffee.
Well, you got a point there, yeah. They used to have donuts and stuff here, but then people stopped eating the donuts to get health conscious.
We should bring in zucchinis.
Some zucchinis?
How about carrot sticks and
celery? Celery.
You think people would eat that stuff?
No.
Yeah?
No.
Okay, well.
They look at it and go, oh, that's nice, and leave it alone.
We had a hard time dealing with the fact that there wasn't always a lot of donuts left over, so we just stopped doing it.
All right.
Now, and nobody complained.
There you go. Okay. So, Romeo, new Onifest button numbers have been drawn.
Yes.
And they were drawn earlier this morning.
Yep.
The $250 prize has been claimed. That was button number 227.
All right.
So that's gone. Now, the new $500 prize, the new number is now 2506. 2506. And the new $100 prize number is 7283. 7283.
Okay.
So if you're holding one of those two button numbers, you call 401-769-6925. Say, hey, I've got those numbers. And you have until 7:30 next Monday, October 24th.
Right.
And if no one claims it by then, we'll draw new numbers. So there you go.
And they keep going until the end of the year.
Until the end of the year, and then we say, this is getting dull and boring. So no, it's a rule with the state police. So we can only go so far, and then we call it quits.
Exactly.
So $500 prize and $100 prize is still up for grabs for the Onifest button numbers. All right, on to the important things. How about those Patriots?
How about Zappy fever?
Now, Romeo, I told you, you wrote it down.
I did.
My prediction of the score of the game. You're gonna have to take my word for it on this one.
No, I have it right here.
That Romeo wrote it down ahead of time.
Right here. Look at
what did I say the score was going to be?
28-7.
28-7 to the Patriots. I was close there for a while. I mean, at one point it was 23-3.
You were close.
Or 23-6.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm so close.
Yeah.
But they scored a lot more points than I expected.
They did.
And of course, I texted Romeo during the game and just said, too many penalties.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah,
we are getting called for everything and stupid little things. And it just drives you crazy.
But in spite of that,
they still won.
Yeah.
So hooray for
victory.
us.
There are 50.
Weren't you correct for the second half of the game?
The second half?
Right up until the last couple of minutes.
I was doing pretty good there
Your
for a
prediction was, they scored 28 points.
Yeah, they did.
There was just a few minutes left in the game in the second half.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're back. They're not back. They're at 500 now.
They're 500, but they're still in last place.
Well,
and whenever you want, you look forward to a team.
Yeah.
You need a team to beat that team for things to get better. It never happens. Last night, and we needed the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Buffalo Bills, and did they? No.
Okay.
The Bills pulled it out with 58 seconds to go, which was actually a very good game.
It was a good game.
And so now the Bills are at the top of the AFC East at 5-1.
Yeah.
The New York Jets, surprise, surprise, are in second place at 4-2.
Yeah.
And the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots are tied 3-3.
Well, you have to admit we've been playing some pretty tough teams until the last couple of weeks, and the next 2 or 3 weeks were relatively, mediocre teams. So we should.
I don't know how are the Bears.
They're not that good.
Okay, another 2-3 team, another 3-3 team. Okay.
So I think it's early in the season.
Any given Sunday,
right?
boys.
But they play on Monday night.
Yeah, next week.
Any given Monday night, boys.
Well, only once in a great while during the season.
Do you know why the Patriots won?
Tell me why they won.
Because
But now we're going to find out.
Because they were better than the other team, right?
Thank you, Mr. Belichick.
Yeah. Yes, why?
No, Robert Kraft got married
That's
on
not
Friday.
Wow.
Did you hear he get married?
No.
Yeah. Sure, I gave you
No?
the story.
Did we see his bride?
Yes.
Yeah,
You know how old Robert Kraft is?
he's got to be close to 80. If
He's
not-
81.
81.
You know how old his bride is?
57?
No, Dave.
I,
You know?
I don't meddle in the personal affairs.
Well, they pointed out they
Especially after
specifically-
those news stories of several years ago.
Yes.
I don't want to know.
She's 47.
All right. Now, talking about robbing the cradle, or is she chasing something else?
How
Well,
does his
she's-
son feel about this?
I don't know. His son's
He's
probably older.
old. He's definitely, yeah. Maybe the grandson.
But she's a doctor,
All right.
and I don't know if she was treating him, and that's how they met. I don't know.
Geez, that's unethical.
I know. I know. Well,
that's interesting.
unless they say go see another doctor, then we can start dating. So, but
Well-
anyway, and so people were criticizing, by the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
because I saw it last week.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is not going to practice on Friday, and I said, I just see it in passing. I said, well, that's odd. Games on Sunday, you're missing practice on Friday. That is really strange. And,
Yeah.
but didn't think too much of it. Well, he was one of the invited guests
Yeah.
to the wedding, which was in New York City.
Okay.
So he got the okay to go, and a bunch of other expatriates were there.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman was there, Vince Wilfork was there, among others. No current players. Belichick would never allow it.
Well,
Belichick wasn't there.
you think-
Absolutely
you think-
not.
I'm sure he was invited.
Who?
Belichick.
I'm sure he was, but he didn't go.
Yeah.
And no, it's we're focused on it's football season.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
we,
probably-
we stay with this. So,
probably-
but Tom went, and now they're criticizing him down in Tampa because Tampa Bay lost.
Okay. So it's because of the wedding.
Well, that's right. He's got
Yeah.
these other things. He's got other things that he cares about, and it's not football.
And I mean, his marriage is kind of in trouble, if you will.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
you
hear
know?
that.
Yeah.
I read about that all the time. Oh, they've gotten divorce lawyers. I said until they say
Yeah.
they're split, okay, then I'll take it seriously. But then I think it's just all a lot of hogwash.
I
and
think
just-
you're in denial, Joe.
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
But I like Dave, I don't care.
How,
I don't care about his personal
How
life.
old is Giselle about?
Same age as him. She's going to be about 40.
I think she's probably a little bit. No, he's 45, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she could be 44.
Okay.
And the new bride is 47. Kraft could have gone
Yes.
after her. Well, anyway, no.
Oh, come on, guys.
Now we're discussing gossip, which is
I know, which
what
is
we're
fun-
doing,
which is
Brian,
fun
right,
stuff.
Dave?
It's not even good gossip either.
Well,
That-
give,
well, that was-
Kind of juvenile.
give us some good gossip.
Well, it's anytime, Dave, it doesn't have to be famous, but anytime someone that's 80
Yep.
marries someone that's 40 in their 40s, you go,
They have their
What's going
reasons.
on? Yes, they
Joe,
do.
Yeah.
Joe,
And here
I've
it
learned.
is.
I've learned. that-
Yeah.
I've learned this down through the years.
Yep.
yes.
Loneliness is the worst doggone thing on the planet.
Well, you're right.
Separation is tough, all
Mm-hmm.
the rest of that, but loneliness is the worst thing on the planet. And that little trouble that he got in before, talking
Yep.
about Mr. Kraft, he'd lost his wife, he was
Mm-hmm.
now single, he was lonely, so he made a bad choice. Somehow he got off on it, but he made a bad choice.
Dave, hold on. You said somehow? Okay. We'll leave
Yeah.
it at
So,
that. Somehow.
but now he was still lonely, and now he's rectified the situation with someone who he feels he could spend his life with.
All
The
right.
age is a chronological
Irrelevant,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not irrelevant. It never would be, but it's something that they can get around.
But it is relative. May not be irrelevant.
Well, when you're married, it is a relative.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
True.
funny you say that, Dave. One of my, not favorite, but there was a great line from the TV show MASH.
Yeah.
Loneliness is everything it's cracked up to be.
Right.
So there you go.
Exactly.
There's also another song from that great
Song?
show. Yeah, another song. Suicide is painless.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. So I have a question for Dave because
Oh, dear.
The issue came up, especially over the weekend, because if you have Verizon Fios in the Providence area,
Yeah.
they are having their difficulties with Channel 12,
Yeah.
and they're just not showing it because their contracts have expired and they're mad at each other. So Dave, so a lot of people could not see the Patriots game.
They're playing the customers against each other
Yes.
now.
So now the deal was if you're in the Providence area, you have Verizon Fios, you couldn't see the Patriots game. You had to go out and see it somewhere if you wanted to go do it, or you could buy the NFL package. But anyway,
Yeah.
Channel 12 is just not showing it. You couldn't see it. So Dave,
Either way, Verizon wins.
yeah, the question is for Dave. Let's say, all right, I've fed up with the cable and everything. I want to go buy an antenna. Where can you go buy an antenna these days? Is there a store, or do you got to get it off Amazon?
Yeah. Well, you'd have to get it off Amazon because
take
nothing
weeks.
comes to mind right now that's
All right.
available because Jabor's is gone, Radio Shack's
is-
gone.
yeah, that's right.
AJ's
All those
is gone.
electronics. Mm-hmm.
All the places that we would go to buy stuff is gone. But you can get a TV antenna online.
I'm talking about an aerial on the roof.
Yeah,
something
right.
big.
Well, it doesn't have
I know
to
you
be.
can. I know you can plug one into the
Doesn't
back of the
have to
TV
be.
and keep it inside the house.
Well, that's true. And for a signal as stout as Channel 12's, that would
That should be
probably
okay.
work even in here in one socket. But I know our antenna is not on the roof of this building. Our antenna is in the attic.
Oh, okay.
And
Inside.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
We have a UHF, VHF antenna in the attic.
Yep.
And so I just watched it on Channel 4 yesterday. For it at Boston. Because, okay, fine, you say to yourself, well, you can't get the Massachusetts stations. Baloney.
On
All the
antennas you can.
Massachusetts stations
Yeah.
we get on antenna.
Yeah. Well,
And we could also get the Rhode Island stations on antenna as well. But the fact is that they're on the pay
Yep.
cable. So,
yeah. Well, my son lives in North Attleboro,
Okay.
and he has one of those, not on the roof, not in the attic, but right on his TV. He says it's about as long as those antennas on your cars, and it's free TV. And he says of course, it's a little closer to Boston, but he says the picture is beautiful, and he gets it from Providence as well, because of where he's located. He's in North
Sure.
Attleboro, so he gets it for free. So you don't really have to go up on your. I don't think you really have to go up on your roof unless you live.
Maybe those days
I
are
don't
over.
think. Yeah, I don't think you
Right.
do anymore.
Right.
But I mean, for me, I've got the antenna not even pointing toward Boston, not even pointing toward Providence. I have it in the middle between the
Yep.
two,
Yep.
and I get an acceptable
good?
signal on
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I did that in case like we
Yeah.
lost cable or something.
Oh, there you go.
But I could very easily just put the antenna toward Boston and get the cable stuff
Right.
off the cable, all the Rhode Island stuff off cable.
Joe, you live in Massachusetts.
Except for 12.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay.
And 64 now.
I-
64
Oh,
is
it's
owned
to
by
a couple of
Nexstar.
stations. It's everything that's associated with Nexstar.
I
That's
can't,
the
I
parent
can't
company.
get any Providence stations in Uxbridge on my cable service,
Yeah, you were not
I do.
affected.
but I can't get Providence stations. So everybody's asking me, what do you think of the gubernatorial race? What do you think of the, if I don't read about it online, or if I don't, I
Hear
do
about
get,
it
I
on
do,
the radio?
I do subscribe to the Call, but the Call, well, we won't go there. But the thing is, it's a good paper for certain articles, but like I'm just saying, I cannot tune in to Channel 10, Channel 12 in Providence anymore unless I
It's
get.
not offered.
No, it
It
is
is
not.
okay.
No,
And he doesn't have an
it's-
attic to put an antenna in.
Right. See,
I do. I do. We have an
Oh, yeah?
attic. Oh yeah.
I do only because of
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Mansfield is at the absolute
Yeah.
northern
Yeah.
point. We are the last town in Bristol County, Massachusetts.
Okay, all right.
Foxborough is the next county.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm in the northern part of Bristol County, which goes from Mansfield all the way to the water,
That's good.
all the way to Fall River and
Do
New
you-
Bedford. It encompasses all of that.
Do
So
you-
since Fall River and New Bedford are really part of Providence,
You get it.
I get both.
Oh wow. That's only because of geography, though. Right?
That only because
Yeah.
of geography.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, anyway, it's frustrating being.
I'm sure it was.
Love to get the Rhode Island channels. I know what to do now. I'm going to get one of those antennas. I bet you I'll be able to get it.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
You should try it.
I will.
It's because they're very inexpensive.
Yeah, okay.
And if you have any further trouble, just ask somebody you know in radio.
Ask Dave. Yeah. Okay.
So,
Do
you
you
just-
do
I,
hou-
I
you do-
can fix you up.
You do house calls.
I can fix you up.
So do you go to one of those
For my friends.
those indoor antennas? Any bigger box electronics that sell computers and things like that? Can you pick those up?
Well,
there?
there's a lot of gimmicks out there, so be careful. There's a lot of gimmicks out there. And when you go looking for them online, you're going to say HD compatible. Boys and girls,
They're all.
it takes the same antenna for
Yeah.
HD and for analog. It doesn't make any difference
difference.
whatsoever.
So don't buy the more
So,
expensive one.
yeah, I guess they would it's a marketing thing.
Of course it is.
But don't be
Yeah,
impressed
yeah.
by it, folks.
Well, yeah, like a lifetime guarantee. You sell that to an 85-year-old man. That's good. Like a roof. A lifetime guarantee. No problem.
It's funny. There's a local comedian, local and I mean New England.
Yeah.
He's at that age. He's about
Yeah.
my age, mid 50s.
okay.
He's gotten to the point where you now start when you have to buy something large like that. You're like, and you start to figure it out. Hey, if I buy it one more time, I don't have to buy it again. Roofs, refrigerators. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm down to 3 refrigerators, 2 washing machines, and 1 roof. That's all I have to buy anymore.
How many people do you know that say, well, this is my last car?
That's
and three,
my last
and three
car,
cars
that's it.
later, this is
still
my last car.
buying.
I think I'll take one more vacation to Florida. 2 years later, I think I'll take one more, but you know how it is.
All right. We got to take a break here in the Coffee and program. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Creative flavoring, casual, comfortable setting, and attention to detail. That describes George's Restaurant. Daily specials include chicken breast club wrap, honey fried chicken with coleslaw and potato, barbecue cheddar burger with sautéed onions, and pulled pork entree with homemade chips and coleslaw. George's Restaurant also features a full breakfast menu. New items include Italian sausage omelet with peppers and onions, and John's 3-cheese omelet. Enjoy it often. George's Restaurant, 793 Harris Avenue, Woonsocket. Open 7 days a week. Takeouts welcome.
Call George's Restaurant at 769-1036 for takeout.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Okay.
It is Coffee and here on ON AM FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Romeo
Hi there.
Berthium. Well, we got. I wanted to mention this, Romeo. Speaking of talking about
Sure.
streaming,
Yeah.
I told Dave. I think I told Dave off the air earlier. I did see the new movie Hocus Pocus 2,
Okay.
which was filmed entirely in Rhode Island.
Wow.
And how is it? I turned it on at the wrong time. It was a little too late. And
Okay, you didn't see the whole movie.
I fell asleep through most of it.
Fell asleep.
But I did see parts of it. The parts I was looking for, would I recognize
Did
any
you? That's
places?
what I was gonna ask
And
you.
I did.
Yeah? Yeah.
They show the witches flying at night. I
Yeah.
said, that is
Yeah.
definitely downtown
Yeah.
Providence.
Yeah.
And they showed them walking along some streets. I said, that is definitely the east side.
Okay.
Looked like Benefit Street to me.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to see if I recognized Lincoln. No. They came in and they built a replica of a village in 1693 Salem.
I remember.
And it
when-
was
yeah.
spot
Yeah.
on.
Wow.
You would
Yeah.
never know
Okay.
you were not in Salem, and it was
Wow.
just in Lincoln, Rhode Island. They're
It
like,
was in Lincoln, huh?
and I was waiting. Well, maybe I can catch a glimpse of Breakneck Hill Road in the background. No, they're pretty smart about that. So.
Yeah, you almost.
But it's just cool seeing the Rhode
It
Island
is.
Rhode
It
Island
is cool.
places.
Very cool.
And so I wanted to bring how about this, Romeo? We've had a couple of hoaxes recently.
You were talking about Hocus Pocus. So
Yes, now we're talking hoaxes.
Hocus. Okay. Yeah.
Someone makes a social media remark about there's a bomb in Cumberland,
Yeah.
and the child was arrested. He's 16, and he's from some town in northern Massachusetts. They wouldn't say which one, and I don't know why.
What's he doing here?
Well, it's what kids do.
Yeah.
I explained this to Dave off air too, and the younger crowd, when they get a friend request on Facebook or Twitter or however they do it, the young people automatically say yes. They don't even look who it is.
Yeah.
All they want is a way to brag to their other friends. Well, I've got 1,000 friends on
Yeah.
Facebook, and that's a big deal. And the more friends you have, I guess the more stature you have. So that's what this guy did.
Yeah.
He just sent out these requests to all these people,
Yeah.
and the kids just said, yep. But now it works in reverse. He puts out this hoax, which turned out to be a hoax. And I don't know, I guess he thought the kids were going to think it was funny. But
Yeah.
no, the kids said, hey, take a look at what this guy has just said. And so it blows up, and now they got to evacuate the school and make sure everything's okay. But if you do that, how dumb, because it's an automatic trace. We know exactly who did it.
Well, the key word is dumb, and the
Well-
key word is immature and inexperienced, and that's what happens. Yeah, absolutely. So they won't say where.
No, last time I saw it, they obviously they wouldn't give his name because of his age, and it just said a northern Massachusetts town. So I'm thinking, Amherst, somewhere
Yeah.
up by UMass.
Yeah.
That's when you think northern Mass, although it could be Rockport or
Oh, Gloucester.
that
Yeah.
area. That's
Yeah.
northern Mass too.
Sure
so,
is.
But they just didn't say. And then Pontiac was on lockdown Friday morning. They had a report that a gun may have been brought into the building. That's a little different. That's not an online
Yeah.
threat. But everything has turned out to be fine. Normal activity resumed within a couple of hours. Although that just ruins the whole day.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, when you were a teacher, do you ever have a?
yeah, we had a
call them lockdowns now,
They
but I don't
were-
know if they called it then when you
Yeah,
taught.
I'm not that old. Yeah, I remember, we used that term lockdown.
that old.
I can remember way back when I first started teaching, way back in 1969. Now I'm going back over 50 years. where we had fire alarms being pulled day after day after day for about a week and a half going straight, and they finally figured it out. And that was the version of what they're doing now with lockdowns. But we have to evacuate the building, and in a couple of cases, I remember we had a couple of days off because of it
Yeah.
until they found the culprit. So things like that have been going on. Of course, it's a lot more serious now because of what's happened in so many schools. With shootings and everything else and bombs. But yeah, the worst thing that we had was fire alarms
Yeah.
going, and you have to go. I mean, you have to evacuate. But
Yeah.
it's a way of getting attention, and 99% of these things are fake, but they cannot.
But you gotta
take that
check 'em out
chance.
now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do remember in high school, 3 days in a row
Yeah,
in the same class.
yeah. Oh,
While we were having a test, the fire alarm went off.
the plot thickens.
I'm like, but no one in the class left the room.
It might have been somebody's friend.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was figured out.
Yeah.
It was somebody who didn't study or whatever.
Oh, I thought I was going to say I thought it was a teacher.
No, it was not a teacher.
I'm only
The teacher was throw his pen down.
I can
Again?
I can get away with that.
But
Because
after
I was-
3 days, they
yeah.
start to there's a pattern
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
It always second period, and then it's third period,
they
and then
figured it
it's
out.
fourth period. They did figure
And
it
they
out.
also knew where the alarm was being pulled.
Sure.
So that was easier than what it is
But
now.
we liked it. No,
Yeah,
the
of
kids are
course.
outside, so
Especially if you're in the middle of a test.
it's like, so what'd you get on question 1? What'd you get on question 2?
Now it's phones.
Well, that's right.
And
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's right.
some teachers confiscate them at the beginning of class, others let them keep them.
It depends
it's-
what the
it's
class
tough.
is.
Yeah.
A lot of kids have their calculators
it
are
would-
on the phone.
yeah, everything.
Even the scientific
Pictures,
calculators on the
pictures.
phone.
When a teacher yells at a kid, they tape it. So
Okay.
for the hearing.
For the
they
hearing
can-
that's
they-
gonna take
That's
place.
what's happening now. Oh, I'm not kidding.
So we got a call. A caller has called in a message 766-1240, and the caller says tomorrow
Yeah.
is Give Your Wife Whatever She Wants Day.
I hope she's not listening.
Now that's not on our calendar. Today is National Bosses Day. Say hi to Dave.
Hi, Dave.
You want,
Hi
you
there.
want some coffee?
Great job. You look good today, Dave.
Thanks,
You got some
Romeo.
rest. After seeing you on
No,
Saturday,
it's not-
you look like
Romeo.
you're well rested. Sorry.
It's not Suck Up to Your Boss's Day.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. That'll be next week.
That's next week.
Oh,
You're-
okay. So anyway,
you're
what?
right.
Give your wife whatever she
Hey,
wants.
give her your wife whatever you wants today. I've
That's
never
tough.
heard that, but isn't that?
Whoa.
I would say something really sexist. Ready?
Yes.
Isn't that every day?
Well, it could work both ways too. Yeah, you got to be careful now. You got to be. I mean, Biden. I know you don't like him, but you got to admit this is a little foolish. He told a young girl, a teenage girl, wait till you're about 30 before you get serious with a guy, and he
did?
He got blasted for that all over the media.
I didn't hear him say
No,
that.
no,
Well, I
he
don't
did.
pay attention when
No,
he says.
I know
but
you don't. But
Where was
still.
he? And why would
He was
he
in
say that?
California, I think, giving
At a
speech,
rally?
and there was a young girl, but you know how he is. He's very touchy-feely.
Was she about 12 or something?
Maybe 14. I didn't see it, but
I know, okay.
it's been online. That apparently, he told her, he said, wait, don't get serious with a guy until you're about 30. He did say that, and they're all over him for that. But why is that
Why
so?
would he say that? Why not just say hi and
Why
how are
would
you?
he say it? That's another. That's what
Yeah.
a father would tell his daughter, or
Yeah.
that's what a grandfather would tell his granddaughter. I told my granddaughter that she has to call me before she gets her first date, and she hasn't called me yet.
I wouldn't hold your breath
But she's
there,
my-
Romeo.
but
She's 42.
But she's, no, not that old, Dave. But she's my granddaughter. But for the president to take a girl, and not take her, but to touch her and say, hey, on the shoulder, say, hey, honey, listen, I got some advice for you. Don't get serious with a guy till you're 30. He did say that. You can check that out.
Well, okay.
I don't think it's
even
even newsworthy, but I want
Well,
to
it's
bring it
not.
up that you talk about political correctness about I'm going to be sexist right now. My God, everything he does. Come
Oh, it's scrutinized.
on.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
All right, back closer to home here. Dave and I got the press release last Friday that
Yes.
Mayor Gendron had to put out that basically just said, "Hey, we haven't fired anybody."
And we ran it on the Saturday.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
it's come to that where press releases are now have to refute rumors.
Yeah. I just have a question for Dave. Again, another one for you, Dave, with your experience. Press release versus news release. What's the proper term?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
They can be used interchangeably.
Because if you go back on the words, news is subjective.
Yep.
if someone doesn't know something, you gave them news. If they knew it and you said it again, it really technically wasn't news, but you put it in the form of news
Yeah.
because someone else listening may not have known it.
Okay, because
But news is what the editor of the broadcast deems should be broadcast.
yeah,
Press is collectively the people who make those decisions.
but is it a press release if it comes to a radio outlet or a TV outlet?
Sure, it is
That would be a
because
news-
we're
that would
all
be a
called
newspaper,
we're all called
press.
the press or the media. Could
Well,
be
that-
media release.
Yeah, okay.
Those kinds of semantics bore
I
me.
know. Well, that wasn't.
We know what it
yeah.
is that they're trying to get this word out to the public.
Yeah.
And so if you take that part of your job seriously,
Okay.
it doesn't matter what it's called. You just handle it the same.
How about just a release? So anyway,
I looked at it and I said, gee whiz, it's an
Yeah.
awful shame that
Yeah.
Dan has to put out a release like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It is.
But hey, what are you going to do? That's why we don't have talk shows on this station. Telephone talk shows
Yeah.
have, unfortunately, telephone talk shows. I will repeat myself till I'm blue in the face, and you will be sick of it. Telephone talk shows are the last bastion of free speech in this country. However, people don't know how to respect themselves in public, and so we don't participate.
No, because my opinion is the most important.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you think your opinion is important or not, but when you start going around spewing things and the people in charge of the program do not challenge your opinions,
yeah.
that's where it all breaks down. And the last one I saw do it was Joe Ferrier. When he suddenly passed away in 2012, that's it. No more telephone talk shows.
It's been 10 years already, huh, for Jim?
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting back to the original question about this incident with the mayor, not incident, but this. Well, you're right. It's a sad thing that he had to issue that. I'm sure that some of the employees at City Hall who are loyal to the former mayor, who is soon to be the future mayor, they just left. And they probably,
addresses that, yeah.
And they were probably told, don't worry, leave, quit your job, and when I get back, I'll rehire you. I'm sure that's what.
That's a big supposition there, Romeo. I'm
Well,
not comfortable with that.
well,
That's what everybody's saying, but
yeah,
to say
yeah.
it in public on the broadcast station,
Well,
let's label it as an
Well,
opinion.
Well, it is my opinion.
Okay.
And I make that very clear. And like I tell people, when I talk to them and discuss things with them, and they express an opinion that isn't my opinion, I always say, well, you're entitled to your opinion, even though you're wrong. I can say that.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, meanwhile,
Back at the ranch.
yeah.
So there is a city council meeting tonight.
Yeah.
They'll be addressing a few things. We heard John Ward give his summation.
The president.
The agenda.
What's going to happen this evening.
Yeah.
John could not be with us on the telephone today because he's in transit. at
But
the
he'll be
moment,
here this week, right?
But he'll be here tonight in order to preside over the Woonsocket City Council
So you
meeting.
can ask him when he comes back and copy Ann how it went. Instead
Oh,
of
yeah.
what'll happen. A little history instead of. Anyway, that's temporary as well. Do you think that? Let's assume that Danny is reelected as a councilman. Do you think he'll be reelected as council president? That's just speculation.
I guess that all depends on who the
Yeah.
other council members are.
That's
Who
true.
are you talking about now?
I'm talking
Dan
about the
Gentry.
future council. Once the
Yeah, right. Okay, fine. I didn't catch that part
all
of
right,
it.
yeah, the future council.
No, he said if Dan
Joe's
Gentry-
100% on target. It completely depends on who the seven are.
yeah.
Let's
that-
say, as an example,
Yeah.
Dan is elected,
Yeah.
reelected,
Yeah.
but John Ward and Jim Canoyer and Roger Gillette are not.
Yeah, it could happen.
Will the other group of people
No, not necessarily.
vote Dan to be the president?
No,
I would
because-
say no.
No, because I saw the ad in the Valley Breeze, and that's a fact. That's not an opinion. The mayor, the former mayor, had all the other her accomplishments and all the other candidates, and I think there's a strong possibility that she could end up with a majority on the council. And
She
if
could.
that happens, yeah, you're right. Dan won't be, but he could still be on the council, though. Of course,
That's
and,
true.
And then the other question, and it's all speculation. I guess we'd have to ask Dan, and I'm not sure he would answer that at this time. But he could say, the next 2 months I did a pretty decent job as mayor, and if you liked what you saw, I'm going to run in 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, and I think that could happen. That's just, again, another opinion.
Okay.
And I haven't talked to Dan, and I think if I did talk to him, I don't think he'd answer that. I don't think he knows.
That's too early. He'd say it's too early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
at
good
this
answer.
time. All right, time to take a break on Coffee In. We're getting close to the bottom of the hour. Time for the weather forecast, which is being brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
An 80% chance of showers today, calm wind, high of 61. Tonight, a 90% chance of showers, overnight low of 51. Tuesday's weather, 60% chance of showers early, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high of 58 and calm wind. Wednesday, back to the sunshine with a high near 56 and breezy. Thursday, sunshine and 56. Friday, sunshine and 60. Saturday, sunshine and 64. And next Sunday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 66.
DeSantis is
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have cloudy skies and 50 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit madwith2ds.org.
Donald G. Burke, present Vice Chair of the Woonsocket School Committee, asks for your vote again in the upcoming election. Having served now for 7 years, Burke again is asking the voters to return him to the committee for another 2-year term. As an educator of 45 years, Burke understands well the bigger picture of education and the great need to create policies and programs which focus on enhancing the education of our children in Woonsocket. As chair of the Health and Wellness Subcommittee and Technology Subcommittee and member of the Policy Subcommittee, Burke leads with compassion and listens with an open mind. Since the school committee race is a contested election this year, Burke needs your vote even more to continue serving the educational community of the city and, most importantly, advocating for the students of the Woonsocket Education Department. Always a voice of care and a voice of reason with a voice of educational experience. Donald G. Burke humbly asks again for your vote so he can continue giving voice to the important needs of our students as a member of the Woonsocket School Committee.
Paid for by the Campaign for Donald G. Burke.
Woonsocket's newest antique store has doubled in size. Passed Down in Time now has more room for you to browse their unique gifts, Crossroad candles, old books, and many other vintage objects and collectibles. Passed Down in Time is directly across the street from Woonsocket City Hall on Main Street. Stop in and say hi to Cindy Wednesday through Saturday. Passed Down in Time invites you to discover the wondrous items that await you. Come in today. Passed Down in Time.
1, 2, 3, go.
Go where?
Tell them.
Tell them what?
Never mind. That is Manny Brando, and I am Virginia. And together we bring you the Manny Brando Show every Sunday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. over ON, AM, and FM.
I like to say something now.
No, time's up. It's Sundays, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m.
Too early for me.
Too bad.
Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan with Romeo Berthium and Dave Richards. Before we get to you, Romeo,
Yes.
we had the sponsorship of the weather was Mothers
Yeah.
Against Drunk Driving.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There was a walking event to help end drunk driving in Rhode Island, and it raised over $20,000 over the weekend. The Rhode Island Walk Like Mad event was held Saturday afternoon at Pierce Memorial Field. That's in East Providence.
Yep.
The event is a top fundraiser for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. About 130 people participated in this year's walk.
20,000.
They raised $20,000.
Nice. Very
not bad.
nice.
Very
Not
nice.
bad at all.
That's
Now,
great.
Romeo wanted to bring up something about the Milk Fund.
Yeah, a week from tomorrow, the Milk Fund Auction Committee will be meeting to begin planning for the 2022 Milk Fund Auction, which is coming up again here on ON in December, and I'm going to let Dave take it from there, right, Dave? Is that true? That's
I'll
not
take
an
it from
opinion.
there?
That's not an opinion.
I
That's
wasn't.
true.
I was.
happening. We are meeting.
Knock it
And,
off.
well, I want to make it clear. No, seriously, the committee's going to meet, and we're going to begin planning.
I don't have all the
Yeah,
dates
imagine that.
memorized. Your
That's-
meeting is on the 25th.
It's a week from tomorrow,
Right.
and
And
committee.
the Milk Fund auction will start, and Dave will look it up right
Yep.
now.
Okay. While you're doing that, can I talk about?
We'll start on the 25th. Hey, what do you know?
25 to 25. So we're a month early, a month before we actually start. We're going to get things organized. And of
You
course,
have
the
to.
committee is made up of people like you. You're going to have to help me out on this. Of course, Dave is ex officio on all committees. Myself, Darren Cooper, Michelle Bikini, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips. And who's the chairman of the Milk Fund there, Dave? Again this year? Lisa?
Well, the Milk
That's-
Fund
I
appeal is
assume.
chaired by Lisa Carcefaro.
Okay, and she's on the committee as well,
Right.
along with her daughter. So,
But she's the appeal chair.
yeah, and she also is on our committee, and she does a lot of work, and we all do, really, basically. And we're looking forward to another successful year. And I just wanted to mention that, a little plug there. We just finished with Autumn Fest, but after all, you know what comes after Autumn Fest? You know that song, When October Goes? What comes after October?
Christmas.
The Milk Fund.
That's right.
So anyway, just wanted to plug that a little bit, and we'll be doing that again this year. And Dave will give you all the program details as time goes along, right? We start on the 25th. It'll be done in the afternoon again, right, Dave? I think you decided that.
That's it seems to be working there. Yep.
So four to
five.
Four to
There's
five.
no particular time is the perfect time for everybody.
Yeah.
But most folks have gravitated to the afternoon.
Yeah, that's good. That's good drive time, and it works out. And,
I like doing it in the morning, but it wasn't working for some folks.
Well, people are working, and people are busy, and they're doing other things, and it doesn't cut into Coffee Ann. That's the best part of it.
Well, that was another matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Other things going on in the news. I don't know if Romeo heard, but there was a 5-car crash in Mansfield, Massachusetts, right near my house. By the way, 2 people passed away.
Oh,
This happened 4 in the morning.
when Saturday night?
Saturday morning, really. Around 4. 2 people died. One from Dorchester, Mass. The other was from Norton, Mass.
Okay.
They were in 2 separate cars. Other
Head
people, no, because they were all going south on 495. So 3 cars were in the breakdown lane. 2 cars were in the median. I think the ones in the median are the ones that passed away. There was another man from Brockton. There was another woman from Attleboro who went to hospital with some minor injuries. And then there was a 5th man, 19-year-old man from Cumberland,
Oh,
who was not injured at all.
thank God.
He doesn't go to the hospital, but
Yeah.
none of their names yet have been released. But I just wanted to make it aware that it was a Northern Rhode Island individual that was involved in
Yeah.
this
Oh.
5-car crash that
I
took
di-
place Saturday morning.
I didn't hear about that. But
And of course, living in the town, I'm
Yep.
getting notices on my phone to stay away.
Yeah.
They are and they closed down. There's 3 lanes of traffic going south.
What
They-
route was it?
495.
495, yeah.
and they blocked it off while
Yeah.
they reconstructed everything.
Yeah.
So people had to get off the highway, circle around, and then come back on if they wanted to keep going south on 495.
Very sad.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I got to get down here. I got to get. Dave and I are doing something down here.
Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
going to affect me? And I'm looking at the maps. And I'm like, I don't think it's going to affect the way I go, but you never know.
You never know.
And but then around 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, you got a message saying, okay, all clear. Everything's open up on 495, both directions. So great, there we go.
That's good.
But that's what happened, and you'll probably hear about it a little later on when
Yeah.
names are released of who the 19-year-old from Cumberland was who was involved.
Talking about tragedy, the 2 cops that were killed in Bristol, Connecticut, was it Friday or something? They were, they were just answering a call, and they were, the guy was ready for them.
Yeah.
He shot 3 of them, and 2 of them died. That's very, very sad.
Very tragic on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
We did have another note that's been called in, 766-1240, back to Channel 12. Because of Verizon Fios to the panel, Fox Providence may also be going off the air as of tomorrow.
Oh,
Because they're all part of the same organization.
Rising Files.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not up to date on the actual ownership. I could certainly look it up. It's public information.
Nexstar.
Well, I know, but I know Nexstar.
Okay.
But Nexstar was operating 64 under an agreement. It was technically owned by another company, and there was an operations agreement.
Maybe
what they
that's
call
why
an
it says they'll
LMA.
go off in a couple of days and not off right now.
Which would be with another owner. But that was the case for many years. I don't know if that agreement still survives. Maybe
Okay.
they purchased it. I don't know.
Possibly. All right. Now, Dan McKee is not happy with RIPTA.
Okay.
Well, there's
Who
a shortage.
is?
There's a shortage of drivers. I mean, you can't be happy with it. So is he threatening to privatize it, Dave? Is that what his latest? Hey, if you don't get your act together, kind of thing.
No.
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 But if
That's not what he's saying. He's saying, okay, down through the years, the bus companies, and actually the bus company in Pasco did this too, way back before I was going to school. When kids needed a ride to school, public transportation was employed first, and then they put together, and they had to, they would set it up. I mean, Woonsocket doesn't have really any bus service that's adequate to get kids to school in the morning, so we go out and you hire a bus company to do it. And but in Providence, where there's an enormous amount of public transit, and RIPTA is the lion's share of it all, then they use RIPTA buses to move the kids around for school. RIPTA's suffering some terrible driver shortages. A lot of people have just had it. They're leaving the business. They can't hire enough people to fill all the seats and train them and get them going for there, so they don't have drivers for the buses. It doesn't help you, if you don't have a driver for the bus. So they're failing this school year a number of times to get the kids to school on time. And of course, everybody screams about that. And I tell you, if I had a kid and I had to go to work and I needed to know that kid was on a bus going to school properly, I'd be pretty upset and, calling out my leaders on it as well. Well, it got all the way up to the governor's office and he said, okay, let's straighten this out. If we have to, then we'll just take this business away from RIPTA and hire a bus company that can do this. Of course, other bus companies are all searching for drivers too. Mm-hmm. Because you can't just take any old person and put him behind the wheel of a bus. No. It's a big vehicle. You need a commercial license. You probably think you need a chauffeur's license or a school bus endorsement on your license to be able to legally drive that vehicle. So it's not just any old person can jump in the seat and do it. And that's whenever you specialize like that, you're going to cause a shortage when things are tough.
And again, you said what I was going to say, Dave, but I'll repeat it. If they're having a labor shortage at RIPTA and they privatize, what makes them think that they're going to find drivers? It's the same issue, not only
just with a different company.
It's
Different
the same,
company
it's
supplying the
same-
hardware.
It's the same issue all over, not only in that industry.
But
Everywhere.
how about this? I hate looking to Massachusetts all the time, saying, "Oh, Massachusetts does it right all the time."
Yeah.
However,
Hey, they do. Yeah, I agree. Two to one,
however,
Dave.
the Orange Line closed down for a month,
Yep.
and so they could fix it.
Yep.
And they brought in buses,
Yeah.
and there was never an issue with lack of bus drivers. They called this bus company and that bus company and that bus company and that,
probably
and brought them and get them in here to the city because we're going to need them
Yeah.
immediately.
They're probably
And
paying them better.
and they did.
It's probably all about the money.
Well, it sounds like this is what Dan McKee is saying now. Start calling, maybe there's not enough bus companies in Rhode Island. Let's look outside the state. Let's look at Connecticut and Massachusetts, and can we hire those bus companies to get down here?
And then the greater issue is, should RIPTA be, the company that brings kids to school? I mean, I know they have private companies that do that everywhere.
It's
but,
a legacy thing.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
it was always done years before,
Well, yeah, but
but it's a
yeah,
legacy thing now.
Yeah, yeah. And again, you can ask the greater question is, where does it stop? What do communities do for schools? I mean, they provide breakfast, they provide lunch, they provide transportation.
After school activities.
Is that the role of schools? Schools have become basically in loco parentis, as they say. They take over for the parents, but
It seems
to a
somehow
fault.
that 15% of what schools do is educate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. My point exactly. And again, I was a former teacher, so.
But I remember my mother telling me stories. She
Yeah.
grew up in Pawtucket.
Yeah.
And went to what was then East High, which is now
Yeah,
Tolman
sure,
High.
of course.
She had to get, it wasn't Ripter at the time, but that's the bus that she had to get.
Yep.
Not
Well,
the school bus.
Yeah.
And
Well, again, I'm not.
Because there weren't any.
I don't think I'm as old as your mom, but I remember taking a bus to school in elementary school, and I think it was It was a city bus. It wasn't a special bus. It was the old. What did they have in the city here? Was it UTC?
I think it was the same one that was. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm going to have to
Yeah.
jack up on that.
But
In
they-
Pasco, it was
yeah.
the ABC bus
Yeah.
lines.
And it was a parochial school, so because of the fact they picked up the public school kids and they picked up the parochial school kids as well. And
But right-
that went
okay.
on a long
The
time
community
ago.
paid a bus that was already
Probably.
running the
Exactly.
usual fare.
So people say, "Oh, when I was your age, we were." No, not true at all. We were bused.
hey, right in
Yeah.
downtown Providence
Yeah.
is Peter Pan bus.
Yeah, familiar with Peter Pan.
Are they running low on drivers?
I don't know.
And are the buses full on their trips up to Logan Airport?
Probably not.
So
Well, I know, but you don't want to be running a diesel pusher around the streets.
temporary though.
No.
We need you for 2
Temporary
weeks.
until it starts clipping cars on the corner because you can't get around a corner.
But they're the same size buses as the RIPTA buses.
Well, yeah, but they're not going in the same places here.
Can I just say something about
All right.
about schools in Providence too?
Sure.
I have been going to the Rhode Island Eye Institute for the last month or so because I recently had cataract surgery. And go through the east side. If you go by a school during the day, like Hope High School, for example, as an example, and the speed limit is 20 miles an hour, and you're going 22 miles an hour, or 23, they're going to take your picture, and you're going to get a nice letter in the mail with a $50 fine. I got one.
So did I.
And so when I go there now, I crawl, and people
Yeah.
behind me are like on my tail, and even more. I don't care. Let them pay the fine. I'm not going to pay it again. But I mean, who knows? How do you feel about those cameras? That's, I guess, the point of my.
As long as you're warned that they're going to be there, it's not a surprise.
They are, and there are signs.
And there are.
I found them the second time.
I'm okay with it. And
Yeah.
what I've noticed when I have to go by them,
Yeah.
no one's on my tail. We all know
Okay.
that we're all going to go 20.
Because they know, because they've been caught.
Maybe
too.
they've been caught too. So the
But I
same
mean,
amount of space
crazy.
between me and the car behind me is always the same.
And they don't give you much play.
Much leeway.
I mean,
No,
you
no.
know, in the
Maybe you
old
can go 22.
I mean, on 146, the speed limit is 55 in Rhode Island. You go 64, you might not get stopped. But if
Yeah.
you go above
I,
that, you
I
will.
remember when those cameras
Yeah.
first came out, and
Yeah.
my opinion is that they do very little to help the safety of youngsters,
Okay.
and do very much to help the coffers of the city.
I
that
think
put
you're
them
right.
up.
That part is
And,
true.
and here's my point on this, just in case you say, "Oh, he's just being a grouchy old guy." I've been known to use my cruise control on this car here a lot, and I like using it. 25 on some of the city streets, like long straightaways and things like that we
tough.
have in the city. Yeah, 25 is a chore to keep.
Yeah, it is.
Cruise control does not work at 20.
It's got to be at least 25.
Well, I guess because it doesn't work at 20. And so
Your car,
I am so busy looking at my speedometer, a kid could run right out in front of me and I'd
Yeah,
never see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I could put my cruise control on
Yeah.
at a slightly higher speed
28.
and be vigilant.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the distraction of trying to drive 20 miles an hour in today's society with today's equipment, to me, negates the safety aspect of the cameras, and you're left only with fundraising
Well, I
for
think
the
you're right,
municipal
because
government.
it even says in that notice that this is not a criminal offense, it's a civil offense. We will not notify your insurance company. And
Yeah.
just do it to raise money. Why don't you just say, give us $50?
All right. We do got to take another break here on the Coffee and program, and more is coming your way.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
So you're remodeling your home, and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? Because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price, next you get the best service, and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
The Woonsocket Board of Canvassers would like to remind voters that November 8th is Election Day. The voters of Woonsocket will be voting on races from U.S. Congress to school committee with 3 state referenda questions. In addition, there will be 2 local referenda questions on the ballot. Question 4, an amendment to the Woonsocket Home Rule Charter, regards the appointment of the city solicitor and reads, shall the City of Woonsocket Home Rule Charter, Chapter 10, entitled Administrative Departments, Article 1, entitled Law Department, Section 1, entitled Created Appointment Qualifications of Head, be amended to change the authorization for appointment of the city solicitor from the appointment by the mayor to appointment by the city council. You may approve or reject that question. Question 5 is entitled Relating to Cannabis Establishments and Public Use. And the question reads, shall new cannabis-related licenses for businesses involved in the cultivation, manufacture, laboratory testing, and for the retail sale of adult recreational use cannabis be issued in the city of Woonsocket? You may approve or reject that question. Knowing your options from home, early in person, or election day, please vote. If you'd like more information on the election, you can visit the website of the Woonsocket Board of Canvassers at www.woonsocketri.org or call the office at 401-767-9223.
Coffee Inn on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning. Joe Callahan here with
You're
Dave
entirely
Richards
welcome.
And Romeo Berthium. All right. See, you always got to worry about what you do on social media. Ready?
Okay.
This is a woman out of San Francisco, woman in California. She was fired from her job because of a TikTok video. The video showed coffee spilling all over the counter after she forgot to put her mug underneath the coffee maker. Now, the coffee spill isn't what got the 24-year-old Michelle Cerna fired. It was the work meeting playing on her laptop in another room that got her in trouble.
Oh, it should.
Cerna said she didn't realize the meeting could be heard in the video until she was called into HR and fired. The company let her go because, quote, she didn't get consent from her coworkers or the company for recording a confidential conversation, unquote, and for making a social media video during work hours. Cerna said rejection is redirection and has started her own company.
Why would she do that? Why would she?
She just left
Yeah.
it going in the other room, got up and
Oh.
went into the kitchen, decided to make coffee.
Yeah.
Didn't know. And why you would make a video of you making yourself a cup of coffee? That's
Well,
kinda
why would
dull.
you make a video of the food you're about to eat?
I don't know.
That's a Facebook thing.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people do that all the time. So
Stupidity is
she
rampant,
starts
yeah.
recording, and the video, the meeting is going on in the other room
That's
over
That's
Zoom
why
or whatever.
People they don't respect radio and TV much anymore because everybody records everything, so it's not important.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be to get on radio, to get on television, you had to have some sort of importance or relevance to a lot of people.
Can you say that again?
Because you would say, hey,
Yeah.
if only a couple
Yeah.
of people care
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
it doesn't go on the radio or the TV.
Yeah.
Because you're going to bore everybody else. But now it's like, hey, I just ate a bowl
Yeah.
of Mapo.
Yeah.
You got to put that
Mapo, I
on.
remember
People are
that.
going to watch this.
Yeah. No,
So they
people
can say, "Ooh, I love Mapo," or they also say, "How can you eat that stuff?"
That's why I don't even do Facebook. I don't. For that reason, that very reason. I could care less what you had for dinner. Don't take it personal. Yeah, I do.
David,
You
I
want to
have
know
a-
something? You want to? I could care less what I
Okay.
have.
Dave and I
you
have
go.
a mutual friend, and that's basically all he does.
Oh gosh.
It's just, I'm at this restaurant, and here's
Yeah.
what I'm having.
Yeah.
Okay. People love doing that. Our old friend Mike Sheridan would do that all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yes, he did it all
yes.
the time.
Poor Michael.
And so, in other news, I can see this person's point. An Arkansas golfer is suing the country club after the country club refused to give him a brand new pickup truck after he got a hole-in-one.
Oh gosh, I remember that story.
Okay.
Morrilton Country Club posted on Facebook that, quote, hole-in-one on hole number 10, get you keys to this
Yeah.
F-150 pickup truck.
Okay.
After Austin Claggett paid the $375 entry fee, this is a pretty exclusive country club.
I guess so.
$375 is pretty high.
Yeah.
And scored a hole-in-one on the 10th hole.
On the 10th.
Last Saturday.
Yeah.
He expected to drive home in his new truck.
And they said, we're only kidding.
Yeah.
That's only a display model.
That's right. But now J. Hodge Ford of Morrilton says they merely loaned the truck to the country club as a display and never meant it for it to be a giveaway. So maybe the club just said, well, no, who's going to get a hole-in-one?
Well, the club is responsible, I think, in that case.
So now
Not the company.
well, now the golfer,
Yeah.
he's suing both the club and the dealership. We'll let a judge figure out who's responsible and when do I get my truck. He definitely deserves one.
Not being
If that's what's not broadcast, but that's what's displayed.
not being
if
the
you enter-
judge, I would say that the Ford dealer is not responsible because he made an arrangement with the country club. The country club is responsible.
Well, yes.
Well, you would say
but-
so, but you sue everybody when you got to
Yeah.
sue somebody.
And you wait for
But
the.
when it gets to the
or
court,
is that what the ruling was?
I
That
don't know.
this is what the
Based on
dealership
what you're
is
saying.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe that's not. Maybe they have it in writing somewhere.
There
They
could
don't
be a
know.
check.
They said they were going to give us to this
oh,
to give away.
you
There
forget
could
the
be
right-
another aspect to all of this, depending on the laws of this state.
Yeah.
Which state is that now?
Arkansas.
Ah, there you go.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
If you run a game of chance in the state of Rhode Island, you must get permission and a license to do so from the Rhode Island State Police.
Yeah.
And if you fail to do so, you're running an illegal lottery, an illegal game of chance.
That's true.
Now, I don't know what the laws in Arkansas are, but if they are similar to Rhode Island, if that had happened in Rhode Island, they would also have to have had a license to do that. And if they didn't, they're in a heap of trouble, boy.
Well, I'm sure.
I
this,
suspect.
go
I
ahead.
suspect that they have similar laws in Arkansas as they do in Rhode Island. But what the guy forgot to say is, yeah, hole in one, and in the 10th hole on Tuesdays in August, and it was a Wednesday. So
No,
I
it
don't
doesn't
know.
say that.
No, but I think
Just hole in one
Yeah.
on number 10
Yeah.
get you the keys to this
Yeah.
F-150,
Yeah.
not a F-150.
Wow. Yeah,
again,
that's-
that's the country club that made that
Right.
sign that put it
Yeah.
up, and they're
So I'm
responsible.
sure this person's, this golfer's lawyer will check with this, if
Oh,
that's the
sure.
rule, he'll check with the Arkansas State Police and say, can I have a copy of the whatever agreement
Right.
they have so we can use it in our lawsuit?
Yeah, there you go.
So I don't know why the country club just didn't say, yeah, okay, well, well, you can't have this truck because we got to give it back to the dealership. We'll get it to you in a week.
Well, they used to give
Kind of
away
thing.
cars in casinos all the time. Did anybody ever see that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
they
and,
still do.
and the car was right there in the and they said, win
this
this
is
car.
the specific car you will win.
Win this car. And because I remember somebody saying to me, yeah, do I want something with fingerprints all over it?
Well, look at Nesson.
the price is right. I'd take it.
Nesson every year gives away
Yeah.
for the Bruins and the Red Sox. I don't know if they did for the Red Sox this year.
Yeah, they
Well, for
give
the
away
Bruins-
A.
But no, they give away a car or a truck to a fan and to the player.
Right,
Wow.
So they give away two.
right.
But I wonder, and they drive the truck out onto the ice, and they say, "Ooh, and that's nice, and isn't it pretty?" But I wonder if they get that exact truck. Or no, you go down to
How about
Ford,
Yeah.
and with this piece of paper, and they'll give it to you.
That's probably what happened when Oprah gave away all those cars. Oprah. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Oprah Winfrey. I was thinking Oprah. But didn't she give away like cars to everybody in the audience?
Yeah, in the audience. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because that's the smart way.
Yeah.
Because you got to go down to a blank and blank Ford dealership.
Yeah.
Because they're going to want their
Yeah.
however $700 because we got to register the car.
Yeah.
You don't really get it for free.
No.
We need insurance.
Well,
and
the
we
other
need,
problem, we run a lot of contests. We don't give away any cars on this station. But the
we're working on it though.
yeah, right. But the deal is, if it's that particular car and you take possession of it, you meaning the radio station or whoever organization
or the
is giving
country
it
club. Mm-hmm.
away, it's no longer a new car because
Okay.
now title is transferred to another entity outside a dealership, and so you got to pay the sales tax on it.
Ah, okay.
And somebody else has got to pay the sales tax on it when you give it away. So it's usually held in escrow
At the dealership.
by the dealership.
Yeah.
And that the escrow agreement is how it's all figured out.
Okay. We're running out of time here in the program. I want to
Good.
bring this up. The
I got things to do.
in case you were wondering, Halloween is coming, as we all know.
What?
Halloween's
Not
getting
again. Didn't we have one last year?
We did, but Halloween's getting a little scarier this year.
Yep.
Because candy prices are higher than last year, just like everything else.
Everything is higher than
figure.
last year. The sky is higher than last year.
Those who plan to give out candy this October 31st will be paying 13% more. This is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Okay.
Why are
and the
they looking
balance
at
sheet
candy
at
prices?
Hershey.
That comes out to about a $2 increase on a $15 bag of Halloween candy.
$2
right.
increase. Well, they're saying that people are spending about $720 a month more than they did last year at this time.
On Halloween?
Just to live. No, just to
Oh,
live.
just to live.
cost of
Oh,
living,
okay.
yeah.
Food and gas.
This percentage jump is the largest yearly jump in candy prices that the CPI has ever recorded.
Because
What's the CPI?
they weren't cost
Oh, can't-
consumer price index.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Ever recorded. Highest they've ever gone.
Because
up.
they didn't look at it. To say, you know,
Well,
when
they may look at candy
the National
prices
Weather
every year.
Service comes out in June and says we're expecting a lot more storms this year, a lot more named storms. Why? Because you name puddles, you name thunderstorms.
Yeah.
You
The
don't
winter
just
storms.
name
Yeah.
force 4
Yeah.
or higher hurricanes.
Yeah.
But
You
maybe
know,
they may look at candy prices.
and they were all verklempt because one year they went through all 26 names and they had to start again
And I bet
because you name everything.
right, we got to run, but I bet this year because they always come out and they tell you in around mid-November, this is how much money you're going to spend on Christmas gifts this year.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
This year, I bet they come out and say Americans are going to spend less because
Yeah.
prices are higher.
Because they don't have it.
Mark my words.
And they also started the sales early, even
yes,
before Halloween.
they've already started now.
And I think I'm just going to make one final comment. I think there's a lot of gouging going on everywhere. They're taking advantage of what they call inflation.
Amazon has already started the Christmas ads. Have you seen the one I saw during football with Red Riding Hood? Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Did you see it, Dave? Oh, you didn't watch. You didn't watch some of the game. They're
What's
using
that?
an actress as Red Riding Hood.
Really?
And visiting grandma, and she always loves it because she got great deals at Amazon, and that she had some
And
toy.
she didn't have to bring all the presents because
no,
you-
they got delivered.
Yeah, right. They got
For
delivered.
free. And she got some kind of dog toy for the wolf, and that's how the wolf didn't get into the house.
Wait till you
That's
see
it in a nutshell.
Wait till you see the commercial with Santa Claus sitting down and saying, "Well, it won't need this sack anymore."
All right, we got to run. Thanks for listening, everyone. Dave Richards, thanks for coming in.
A pleasure.
All right, Romeo Bertham, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Stay tuned for Leslie Page at the library and Food First with Karen Zangari. It's all next on ON Radio. Tiki Bar tonight at 6.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The Providence